Jalen Ramsey trade rumors. First, I want to say I think it would be stupid to trade for Jalen Ramsey, but he is on the trade block. Does it make sense for Ryan Poles to call the Dolphins and at least gauge interest? We have Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and Tyreek Stevenson as our starting corners, with Terrell Smith and Josh Blackwell as depth pieces. We definitely do not need Jalen Ramsey, but a large portion of our fan base seems to be out on Tyreek Stevenson, at least after last year's Hail Mary fiasco. So would it make sense for the Bears to trade for Jalen Ramsey? What would it cost to trade for him? And do I believe we'd be interested? Let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I'll say is I would not give up on Tyreek Stevenson. This is only going to be his third season in the league, and the combination of Al Harris and Dennis Allen coaching him should get the best out of him. He's a former second round pick, and he's flashed a ton of skills in his first 2 years in the league. He got a lot better last year, and it's simply way too early to give up on his talent. But a counterpoint to that is that the Bears are in win now mode and ready to compete in the NFC North. Jalen Johnson is already a lockdown corner, and Kyler Gordon is one of the best slot corners in the league. Adding Jalen Ramsey to this secondary would make it most likely the best in the entire NFL. And on top of that, I believe the Dolphins are not going to ask for much for him. What if we could get him for a sixth round pick or even a seventh? A steep fall off for Jalen Ramsey, who is most likely going to be traded for the third time in his career. Back in 2019, when he got traded for the first time, he went for a trio of picks, including 2 first-round picks and another pick. But just a few years later, the Rams then traded him to the Dolphins for just a third-round pick. So his value went from 2 first-rounders and more down to just a third-round pick 2 years ago. His value has fallen even more since then, as he's now getting paid a lot more, and he's over 30 years old. So I expect the Dolphins will get much less than a third-round pick for him. On top of that, I also believe his play has fallen off over the last few years. He's allowed his 2 highest passer ratings against him in 2024 and 2022, and he's allowed 10 total touchdowns over the last 3 years. But where it all goes wrong for Jalen Ramsey is his contract. He signed a 3-year, $72 million extension that doesn't even kick in until 2026. This year's cap hit is just fine, at just $16.6 million for his age 31 season. But what about the next 3 years when he's 32, 33, and 34 years old? Well, that's when it gets ridiculous. You look at what you have to pay him in 2026, 2027, and 2028, and it's simply disgusting. You'd be paying him $100 million over the next 4 seasons, but $83 million of that for his ages 32, 33, and 34 seasons. Paying for elite production well after the prime of someone's career is usually not how you build a championship team. And for this reason alone, I think there is no way that the Bears would trade for Jalen Ramsey. Honestly, I think any team would be crazy to trade for him with that contract at his age. I would want the Dolphins to give me draft picks to take on that contract. Some team will probably take him for a 6th or 7th round pick, though, maybe even a 5th, but that's the highest I see anyone giving up. And I do not think it should be the Chicago Bears. I've seen these reports swirling around, but no way would I pay this kind of money for Jalen Ramsey. I'd rather draft another corner or even give Terrell Smith a shot. I think this would be a stupid decision by the Bears if they did it, but I did want to address it and get my take out there for you guys. I appreciate everyone who watches. Stay tuned and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Please remember to hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.